Hi, everyone. I think you're ready for lunch. So one more session on stage, and then you can have your well-deserved break. And we will actually look today not at the car who brings you from A to B. We actually will look in what is actually the new experience we can get. Is the car a new device? Is the car like our new living room? And of course, I will not talk about it. I have an amazing expert with me, Don McGuire. He is VP and Chief Marketing Officer at Qualcomm, and he will actually deep dive with us what technology can bring you actually the best experience at the car side. And I would love to ask you, come on stage, and actually congratulations to be mentioned as one of the most influenced CMOs in America from Forbes, right? Just this year.
Yes, thank you.
This is impressive. Actually, I'm a little bit nervous now because this is a big thing. Would you like to have a seat?
Yes, we'll have a seat.
Maybe this one. I'll take this one. The car of the future. I don't think it's in the future, right? There's like so many cool technologies we can see right now here. Right. What is your perspective on it? Like, what is changing there? What is our experience in the car we can do right now, or maybe as well in the future?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think there's a lot of things happening right now. As we speak, every new car that's launched, it seems, is adding more digitization, more electrification in a lot of cases, as well as, I think, more personalization. And I think a lot of the new experiences or this idea of the software-defined vehicle driving this idea that the car is actually becoming a new living space centers around this idea of personalization. Yeah. And so I'm excited, and I've been excited to see kind of what's going on here at the show, and then over just the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But I think we're going to continue to see technology push the envelope on what's possible as we look at the evolution of kind of what defines a vehicle. Mm-hmm.
This is highly interesting. I think as well in the startup area, I discovered like startups where like customize the music when you're driving, maybe on your road in LA, fitting to your drive and your mood. And I think this is like an experience you usually don't have right now as well with your phone, totally not in your car. So what kind of technology is like really influencing it, and maybe as well from Qualcomm? What's coming in there?
Sure. Well, I mean, from a Qualcomm perspective, through our Snapdragon platforms, we sort of like do this for a living, right? We've seen and we've experienced and we've tracked how people live their digital lives with the advent of the smartphone all the way through across sort of different categories, different product categories. And the evolution of the vehicle is sort of following some similar patterns as the evolution of other technology devices or technology-driven devices and or things that you experience in your life. I know the auto industry doesn't really like to refer to a car as a device. And so I'll use the context this once, but that's about it. But it's interesting. So we've seen this. We've seen how technology can drive feature sets that then drive experiences that people can actually feel. And so from a Snapdragon brand perspective and how we look at this as we move more and more into automotive, that's what we're helping the auto ecosystem really do.
I think it's kind of interesting because you're not an automotive company, classical,
right,
but you're now going in the market, and I think the way you say it, it's maybe not a device, but what kind of like best practices you have like around OEMs, how they're like placing them in the market? What would you recommend them, especially to like at the end it's a customer thing as well, so that I decide to buy this car and not this one?
Right. Well, we consider ourselves the great enabler, right? We are a big believer in open platforms. And we really want to give the auto industry the opportunity to build on top of this great technology, to bring, again, more personalized experiences that are unique to their brands, even, and redefine business models for their consumers, for their drivers and passengers that might be considering purchasing a new vehicle from that brand. So I think it's exciting to break open sort of the black box mentality of how we enable software development and services development on top of this platform, called the vehicle. And I think the auto industry has really embraced that philosophy. And there's a lot of excitement that can be built on top of that.
And I like really the word living room. It's like a place, I feel well, I can use my time kind of like useful if I'm waiting for someone, if, I don't know, I'm in traffic jam. What are like nice examples we can kind of feel the living room? Are you taking off your shoes when you would go in your car?
Probably not. Probably not these shoes. But you're right. It's the idea that you could be spending time in your vehicle, and there could be downtime. You could have downtime, right? You could be waiting in line to pick up your children from school, and you have to be there at a certain time or else you're at the back of the queue. You might be sitting there for 15, 20, 30 minutes before you have to get them loaded and then get them off to their next thing. Up to this point, or even in recent history, you probably would pull out your phone and just start scrolling through your Instagram feed, or maybe sending an email or a text or calling someone. Now you actually won't have to do that anymore, and you could actually interact with your car in new ways. Whether it's consuming content, maybe it's getting a little video gaming in while you're waiting, being productive, and there's going to be lots of different ways that this is going to be brought to life. The last set of speakers obviously spent a lot of time talking about AI and Gen AI. We're showing in our concept car in our booth some pretty cool experiences that are Gen AI driven in the vehicle that seem to make sense when you actually sort of experience them and see them. So I'm really excited about how you can take that downtime and really transition that downtime into either productivity time or entertainment time, mental health time, whatever you really want to do while you're sort of waiting in your vehicle, that in the past would require you to pick up another device and engage with that device.
Plus, it's a little bit more unsafe as well to go to other device. We should not go on a phone when we are in the car. And I think we could see it here when everybody arrived at the queue. Everybody had their phone out and like take the time in between. And if we can now use the time really well in the car as well, I think it's a big, big benefit. You mentioned your booth. Where can people actually discover your car and your technology?
If you want to come check out the Snapdragon concept car, we're in Hall B3. I think it's stand B10 in Hall B3. We're showing off some amazing sort of both now and future-oriented experiences that we're helping a lot of the auto industry enable. And so it's a pretty cool concept car. And so check it out if you have the time. And then also, I think, just sitting in it and realizing that what's happening within the vehicle is a change from ubiquity, everybody in the vehicle having the same experience, to kind of customizable, personalized experience, depending on where you're sitting, right? If you're sitting in the front passenger seat versus the driver, you're going to have a different experience. If you're sitting in the back, wherever in the back, a different experience. So that's another sort of level that we've taken our concept car sort of demos and experiences to here at the show.
Nice. A little bit like if I want to listen to a different music, can I listen to something else without headphones? Is this working already?
Yeah, spatial audio. We're showing off spatial audio in the concept car. So, if someone is playing games in the back seat, the driver doesn't have to be distracted or hear them or tell them to turn it down. Or if it's people like different music and they don't want to listen to whoever's controlling the main stereo in the car. That's another personalizable experience, and whether it's with headphones or without. So spatial audio is something that's being brought into the vehicle, like as we speak.
You talked a little bit in the back, and I could really see and feel your passion about the topic. So what is right now the thing that really drives you to work and to support actually in this journey?
Oh, well, I like cars.
I understand.
I know that there's a narrative out there where some people don't like cars, but I like cars. And so I have an EV. It's not a Tesla. But I have an EV, and I just, to me, cars, and maybe it's an American thing or maybe it's other things, but cars are very personal to people. They're an extension of their personality almost. Do you drive a truck, or do you drive a minivan? Do you prefer a sportier car, a luxury car, a more practical car? So it's an extension of kind of who you are and your family ecosystem. Again, I think Sarah mentioned it in the beginning, and Cristiano mentioned this in his keynote yesterday. It's not about just getting from point A to point B anymore, but it's about the journey. Either at point A or at point B or in between. And so cars are like extensions of ourselves, just like shoes, and how you use your smartphone or your other digital tools in your life. So for me, what I'm most excited about is, one thing I'm really excited about is less buttons and more natural interaction with speech, right, and with touch and with gesture. I've talked to several automakers here at the show in my meetings where they've got goals of like 100% elimination of buttons.
The screen gets bigger.
Just screens are getting bigger. When you get into the vehicle, it kind of knows who you are. It already moves to your height, right? Your eye line.
Oh, you don't have to
physically touch things anymore to crank them or move them. I think that's really cool. So, and it adds to that personalization element. So less buttons, I think, are exciting to me. And I think just the ability to take your journey and thinking about what you have to do throughout your day, and then have a conversation with your vehicle and to help you with whatever that might be. We're showing a Gen AI demo in our booth where somebody is driving from somewhere to somewhere. They forgot that they needed to figure out something for dinner. They asked for a recipe, and then the car automatically says, oh, I'm going to put a stop on your way home at the grocery store. I'll add this to your shopping list. And it'll go to the store, and you just have to drive in, pick it up, and you know how all your ingredients for the meal that you want to make. You know, those things are not far-fetched, right? And so I'm excited about those types of things coming into the vehicle in the very near future. And then I think this personalized passenger experience, too, I think is really amazing. When I was a little kid, in the United States, station wagons were big, and they were really big, like they were physically big, and they had multiple rows or multiple rows of seats. And I was one of four. I was the youngest of four. I was always in the middle, crammed in the middle seat, but we couldn't have a personalized experience. If I wanted to do something, I got the elbow from my older brothers, whatever, and there were like dogs in the back and plants hanging out of the car windows. And then my dad wanted to play one music, right? And it was like Roy Clark country music, which we all hated.
Managing it. So
it was just awful. And when we went on a long road trip, you couldn't have a personalized experience, and that is all changing. So, you know, I think in the future, I think all passengers and everybody in the car is going to have a much more pleasurable experience. Probably is going to avoid a lot of conflict, a lot of arguments, and make people happier.
Family freedom.
And family freedom, and make people happier as they kind of enjoy their journey, both together, but also on their own.
I think everybody could see it as a personal motivation, a professional motivation, the curiosity on your side to really push the topic. Our 50 minutes could be over. I have no idea. I don't have a time. But it was highly interesting to chat about this. In Germany, you love your car as well. So I think we have a really good combination here.
I want one thing, though. I want something to clean my car. Every time my children use it and leave all of their crap in it, I would like just it automatically to be cleaned out, so I don't have to do it.
Okay, so let's go to the startup boosters and check out if somebody could find out the technology.
I want a robotic vacuum cleaner to come in and just clean it all up for me.
Sounds beautiful. Or take a dog. I think they're always cleaning it up, right?
That's
cool.
Right.
Everyone, please give a warm hand to Don. Go to the booth if you want to figure out more. And then we can say to everyone, happy lunch break. And see you somewhere around. Have a beer if you want. We're in Munich, right? So you should enjoy your time and the good weather. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Really nice to join you, Hannah.
Good.
Thanks.
You. And we can go over there.
Wow, that was making me super nostalgic for my own childhood in the back.